Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome back to my channel, and today I wanted to go over everything you should and shouldn't keep in your inventory and your retainers. If you're like me and suffers from something like this, then this video will definitely help, as it also helped me an absolute ton. So with that being said, let's get into it. This video will be, of course, divided into parts. First part being, what should you spend? Now, of course, if you're like me, you probably have a whole load of different currencies, totems, clusters that can actually be spent and used. The first item we're gonna /item search is for clusters. Now, a lot of these clusters are used for gaining materia that you usually get after completing a duty or a roulette, and a lot of mine were from previous expansions. You can put back all the materia you gain in a neat place instead of having a load of clusters taking up space. And for Endwalker, the two clusters that are used for materias are the Dendro cluster and the Antho cluster. And you can come over here and Radzat the materia vendor here, and you can buy all the 9s and 10s that you would like to. The Dendro clusters are for 9s and Antho clusters are for 10. And each specific cluster for materia has its own specific vendor in each expansion, but go ahead, buy the materia that you will need in the future or what sells best on the market board so you can clear that out of your inventory. Next are totems, and you can go ahead and item search totem and you'll see how many you have, but only spend these totems if you are not saving for the mount, aka you need 99 totems to get that particular mount from that one boss, and you have the synthesis. Next are old raid books. Now, I don't recommend spending your Mythos books because you're probably going to need them for gear, but for old expansions, first off would be /item search book of. This would be for Shadowbringers. Next would be /item search data log. This would be for Stormblood, and then for Heavensward /item search manifesto. And just like totems, each expansion has its own vendor, and you can usually find them by looking for the vendor called Relic Exchange. And you can exchange these for gear that you would like for Glamour, or if there's nothing that you would like, or if the book only gives you accessories, you can go ahead, buy them, and desynthesize them. Next, item search coin. Now, I still have the Puppets coin and Melande's coin from Shadowbringers and Stormblood, and you can't even use these coins. The option to buy things from the vendor is not there anymore, so they're literally useless. But of course, if you like to keep it as memory's sake, then you can of course keep it. But if we're trying to stay clean here and not hoard too much stuff, then of course, just get rid of those. Next are lockboxes, and when you open them, you're gonna get a lot of stuff in return. Try and make sure that you have space for materia, and if there's anything that you would like to sell it off. Otherwise, just vendor everything that you don't need and try, of course, to keep your inventory clean. Next, search for Tomestone. Now, I do have some old Moogle Tomestones that are from a previous Moogle event. They are obsolete, you can no longer use them, and they are quite useless. Of course, go ahead and take a look and remove any of them that are obsolete. The irregular Tomestone of Scripture is our current Tomestone, so don't go ahead and throw that away, but things like the unidentified elegant Tomestone has been obsolete since 5.3. If you have anything like the perdurable Tomestone, anything that is not the discal Tomestone, that is an obsolete Tomestone that was previously used to upgrade your Tomestone weapon in previous expansions. But of course, make sure before you vendor anything that it is indeed the correct one. But for my case, this perdurable one has been obsolete since 6.0, and I'm going to go ahead and vendor that immediately. Next, item search blade of. Anything that is not Blade of Asphodelos are old and obsolete, and here I'll show an image of all the currently obsolete raid items: Blade of Early Antiquity, Golden Antiquity, Lost Antiquity, Manufactured Coin, Puppets Coin, Breach Coin, and the Rabanastran Coin, Guggen Coin, and Ladelis Coin. Only the Deltascape Crystalline is still used, and that is for a housing item, but the rest of it is obsolete. For Heavensward, the Greeting and Alexandrian gear do give you some housing items, but everything else is of course obsolete. Next up is the Glamour dresser. Did you know that you can store any log station purchasable Glamour pieces in your armor? I actually didn't know that. The only reason why I don't do it with every piece that I have off the log station is that it does not keep your dice. It removes the dice, but in the Glamour dresser it keeps the dice, so do keep that in mind. Also, you can keep things on your Glamour plate without it having to be in your Glamour dresser or in your armor. Once you apply the Glamour plate to the Glamour plate, you can just remove the item out of the armor, and you only have to put it back if you want to reuse that item in a different Glamour plate. It's pretty good if you only think you're going to use an item once, so you can apply the Glamour plate, remove it, and discard it. Also keep in mind in 6.2, the Glamour dresser is going to increase in size up to 800 slots from the now 400. Next is housing items. Do you have any housing items in your inventory or in your retainers? And are you able to go ahead and get a apartment, an FC room, or a house? Well, even if you want to sell these furniture items, you can easily store them in your storage. As long as you don't place it on the ground, you'll be able to take them in and out, and you will be able to sell it still on the market board. Of course, depending on the size of your home, you can have up to 200 to 300 spaces for items, and 300k for an FC room is not so bad when you get so much space to store furniture related items. But again, remember not to place it on the ground. As long as something is in your housing inventory and does not have the word untradeable or binding at the top, just like this pot of cream stew, then you are able to sell it on the market board. The next thing you can go ahead and look for on Teamcraft is the inventory tab. Now, of course, you do need to have packet capture on for any of these inventory features, but my favorite thing about this is that I can go ahead and see how much of all the stuff that I have in an entire retainer is actually worth. And what is worth so much? Now, I have a lot of retainers across multiple characters. It is perfect if you want to go ahead and see which retainer has how much, but in my Uwutia, I have up to 14 million. In my That Boy retainer, I have 8,000. I have 8 million. Cherry Pie and Little Baby have more than 25 million. And Creamy Bean has 13 million. And this is not the only retainers I have, of course. So this is kind of incredible, seeing how much I actually have. And sometimes I feel, oh, you know, I'm kind of down on my luck with selling stuff. Maybe I have something in my retainers that I should actually get rid of and go ahead and sell, since it's actually worth quite a bit now. And it's also exciting to see some things that I bulk bought and totally forgot about have completely risen in value. Specifically, the cloth softening powder. I bought these 10k a piece. Now they're 70k, and I already have over 6 million gil worth of it. So go ahead, take a look at this feature and see what you're actually missing out on in your retainers. And now for materials specifically, a lot of them that I have could be lowered in quality. A lot of things can no longer be gathered high quality, and you can't even post them on the market board since they are high quality, and the game doesn't support it anymore. Especially when you're a max level in that crafter, you don't need that item to be high quality to craft a high quality piece. We have an ability called Trained Eye, which will allow us to one-click 100% quality without needing extra items. So anything under the level of 80, go ahead and change them into normal quality and stack them together with your normal quality material. I would also get rid of anything that is lower than a stack of 5. If you only have 3 of this one item and 1 of this item, I would recommend either sell it quickly or just get rid of it. Of course, if it's a material that is very cheap, I'm talking like 100 to 1000 gil per one. If it's something like 20k, obviously don't go ahead and sell that. You probably need it and you can most definitely sell it. But anything that is not worth a lot and you only have a stack of 1 or 2 up to 5, go ahead and sell it or vendor it. Next, anything that can be bought with gil. Now I'm using Teamcraft for this, and this is originally where I got the idea for the video, but here is the inventory optimizer. And of course, you do need to have Teamcraft on desktop to use this feature, and you need to allow packet capture so the Teamcraft can see what's in your inventory and what's in your retainers. Now go to items that can be bought with gil. Obviously, I would not put 50,000. I would put up to 200. Click apply, and now there are 63 items that I could easily get rid of and free that amount of space. Next is items that are duplicated across multiple retainers. Now this is so nice to see. I have a stack of 140, but in my other retainer I also have a stack of 381. I could easily put them together and free an entire space. And finally, the most important thing here that I found is items that are only used for a single recipe. I can easily turn all these raw mats into their intermediates because that is the only thing that they are used for. And the best thing is you can add these items to a list. You can easily go ahead and start crafting all these, and I would free so much space if I went ahead and did this, and I'm about to go ahead and do just that. So I'll go ahead, clean up my inventory, and we can see the difference. So this is my inventory right now, and most of my retainers are max 175 spaces. So we're gonna go ahead, do everything that I just listed, and clear it out and see how much space I can save. So I just finished organizing, and I'm not even fully done. There are still some things in my chocobo saddle bag that I can go ahead and spend, specifically the books and some of the lock boxes. But overall, I already saved around 100 plus inventory spaces, not including my bag. This is only in just retainers, and one of my retainers is almost empty. I'm gonna sort through these pieces of gear and see what I don't want and see what I would like to keep, or keep until whenever there is more space in the Glamour dresser. But yeah, it was actually quite nice to go ahead and save a whole lot of space, and then I can go ahead and see whether or not I need to keep paying for that extra retainer. Also, I'm selling all the stuff that I didn't need or was worth quite a bit and I didn't need to hang on to it. So far, I've already actually sold quite a bit, so I'm very happy with that as well. So that is how you can easily get a whole load of retainer and bag space back with just checking what exactly is in your inventory. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful to you. I know it has been extremely helpful for me, because little did I know, a lot of the items that I had in my inventory were actually just literally useless. I couldn't even use them even if I wanted to, so it's great to go ahead and clean all of that out. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everyone that supports me on Twitch, Discord, and YouTube, and our lovely YouTube members. You all keep the channel going. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!